Hey guys, eNtaK here, and welcome back to Star Wars Battlefront. Today, I wanted to cover one of my favorite modes in game, Heroes versus Villains. This mode is a very unique mode and a lot of fun to play. 3 dark side versus 3 light side characters, and the support that they have as a team, you clash head to head in this awesome game mode. I hope this video helps give you guys an introduction to the mode, possibly provide you with some tips and tricks, as well as possibly encourage you to try the mode if you have yet to do so. Heroes versus Villains is intense, plain and simple. You need to work as a team to defeat the enemies while trying not to lose all of your heroes on your side. The rounds are usually very short, very intense, and at most times never go the same way twice. This is because you have the ability of possibly spawning as a different hero throughout the different rounds in the match. As the match progresses and as the rounds go on, the game will shift you from a normal soldier to one of the heroes or villains at some point, with the possibility of even spawning as a special guard unit with a rocket launcher and homing shot that do a ton of damage to enemies. The matches are divided into rounds where 3 players from each team randomly spawn as a hero or a villain. You have Luke, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Leia, Palpatine, and Han, and they all have different abilities, and we'll cover those here in a little bit. The game mode is a 6v6 in total. Now, when a hero or villain is defeated, you'll have the possibility of, like I said, spawning as a guard, and if not, you'll spawn as a regular trooper, and the objective of the team is to defeat all of the opposing heroes or villains, and if you do, your team will be rewarded 1 point for that round. Now, as a regular trooper, keep in mind that you have power-ups that you can find on the battlefield, and with enough concentrated fire, you can wear the heroes or villains down very easily, and some of these power-ups are insanely powerful, and they can do a ton of damage to the heroes or villains if they're put down in the right spot or used in the right way. And as guards, you can use special weapons to inflict high damage to enemies, and with heroes or villains, you can easily do damage to normal players and do well against certain opposing special characters and not so well against some others, which I don't know if we'll talk that much about that, but I will lay out the different heroes and villains in this video so that you guys have an idea of how they play, what they're like, and then you can kind of see, you know, maybe like Han will do really well against Palpatine, but Palpatine will do really well against Luke, and there are different reasons for why that happens. Now, I think the best way to run through this video is to run through each hero and villain, discuss their strengths and the weaknesses, so you guys have a good idea of maybe what will be best suiting for you and how to attack, and then also how to defend, and then what to look out for. So let's go ahead and get right into that right now. I'm going to start with Leia because she's by far my favorite character in this mode, and I'm a little biased towards her because I feel like I can play her very well. I think that she's the best hero on the field. Now, that's my opinion, but I'll try to tell you why I think that. She is both aggressive and defensive, and she's very, very good when played defensively. It might seem kind of dumb to watch a defensive Leia because she just stands there most of the time, but she's very good in that regard. Now, in the beginning of the match, what I like to do with Leia is rush out with her and try to take pot shots at the enemies with my charge-up shot, which is the first skill. And if you're lucky, you can do a lot of damage or kill normal players very, very easily. This skill does a ton of damage to enemy players and stuns enemies, which is very, very important. It will kill normal players very easily and can deal a ton of damage to enemy villains. Given that it is a stun lock, which I don't think most people are even aware of, because people will charge at Leia, and I'm like, you better bring your whole posse, the whole enemy team, or you're going to have problems here, because what she can do is very deadly. She has the ability to stun players. So, for example, if I encounter a Vader on the battlefield, I'll shoot him once to lock him, and then just continue to fire on him, and he can't escape unless my stun lock will, like my charge shot will stop firing, which sometimes it does, and then they can run away or whatever. But basically, you just continue to fire on them, and you can easily kill Vader or Palpatine with Leia doing this. Boba's a little bit different because, you know, he has the ability to just fly away if you miss a shot or something like that. But it's very, very easy to kill the enemy villains, I think. Now, if you get in a bind, you can fall back, deploy the shield, and then you can throw down a health and gain health back, which is ridiculous. It's important to remember, too, if you got a friendly hero who needs help, throw health down for them so that they can get health back. And she's a support class, very important to play that way. Now, what makes her terrifying to me is that she can heal herself, first of all, and then 2, she can use her charge-up shot through the shield. She can shoot through the shield. And so I don't think most people know that either, because they'll just charge right at her, and I just shoot them one time and most of them die. And so this is a deadly combination, and it's probably the best one on the battlefield in this mode. Now, keep in mind though, however, and this is what I see people making the huge mistake when playing Leia, is that they'll run out in the open, and if you're left out unguarded or not in a shield, or you don't have people around you, she can be killed insanely quickly, very, very easily. So you need to play Leia very intelligently and be defensive when you need to be defensive. Han is also good, and his rapid fire and shoulder charge can stun enemies too. And you can use him the same way as you use Leia, through stunning enemies and things like that. The lucky shot, I've never had this happen, and so I've just heard about this. The lucky shot can take out several players at once if you get lucky, pun intended. And so Han is a little bit different, and I don't really like to play Han because I don't know how to play him that well, but because he doesn't have the same abilities as Leia, and I think Leia is way better in this regard. But Han is also very effective, and I've seen people be very effective with him as well. Luke, however, is a very different story. Now, I've seen people owning with Luke sometimes, and I also see people dying with Luke very quickly. How I like to play Luke and how I think he should be played is very sneaky, because what you should do is wait for good opportunities to rush in with him, because if you can hit an enemy with a regular swing, they will be stunned and unable to run away, and you can just keep hitting them repeatedly over and over and over again. All heroes and villains are easy to kill if left unprotected or caught in the open in a crossfire. That's the most important thing to remember. They're not invincible. They can be killed very easily, especially by a guard unit or something like that. So Luke, totally different story. I play him way differently than I see other people play him. I usually last longer, but I also don't do as much for the team. And so it's a trade-off right there, but I think it's important to know that. Now, Vader, okay, gosh, Vader is by far, in my opinion, I'll say that again, in my opinion, the worst of all of them. He is horrible, in my opinion. He's slow. He's just too slow. He can, however, act just like Luke to hit repeatedly and stun the opponent. And so he does have that going for him. He's got his force choke. Yeah, that's fine. But the cool thing is that Vader has a saber throw that is great for penetrating Leia's shield. And I don't think most people who play Leia know this, because you'll be standing there and protecting yourself, and then out of nowhere, the saber will hit you, and you're like, dang, I just lost 20 health or something, because Vader is good at that regard. But he's just too slow, in my opinion, and he's not very effective for your team. Boba, however, is very agile, can fly around the battlefield with his jetpack as he rains wrist rockets down from the sky. Boba is very, very good, I think. I don't play him as well as other people do, but I've seen people freaking do ridiculously well with him. And if he gets in a close encounter battle, he also has his deadly flamethrower, which does have a very, very limited range from what I can see, though, so you got to be really close for that to happen, I think. Now, Boba is great when he's played in an open air area, or he's like back in a corner of a room where he can fly around and people can't hit him as easily. He can also get to locations other players might not be able to, or might have a hard time getting to, so you can shoot rockets down from various spots over and over again, and his gun does a ton of damage too. Now, keep in mind that he can also die somewhat easily, so you need to constantly watch your positioning. Palpatine is by far my favorite villain because he has amazing abilities. I freaking love Palpatine. He has a chain lightning attack which can do massive damage to multiple opponents. I think I got 4 kills one time, but I'm going to say I got 3, that was confirmed, but I think I got 4 once. Now, he can quickly dart out of danger with his crazy spin move. I don't know what it's called. And he also has the ability to drop a heal. So if you're playing Leia or Palpatine, drop health for your allies if they need it. This is vitally important, but most of the time I find you need the health as well. So they are great support characters, but this makes him just as deadly as Leia, but without a shield. So all in all, know what matchups will be good for you personally, and know what matchups are good for your characters. Make use of the battlefield pickups, employ special abilities at the right time, find great places to defend from, and be aggressive and defensive when called for. It's just be smart and work as a team. The biggest thing, work as a team. Don't run off on your own because you're going to die, or don't let your teammates die very easily. If you work as a team, it's almost impossible to kill the enemy team. Like, for example, the one match with the Millennium Falcon, people like to put the shield down on top of that thing and all hide within that. on the hero side, and they just can't be killed. It's ridiculously difficult, and so it's very important to just work as a team, play very intelligently, and use your abilities very wisely. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click that thumbs up button below. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.